Recently, I was browsing on the internet and I saw a fellow YouTuber that I follow talk about a story. This guy's name is Jonathan Gerlach, and he was arrested for having 100 skulls or corpses inside of his home. And apparently, he was robbing cemeteries and stuff like that. And this is actually a crazy story. And he's actually in jail for bail for like $1 million or something like that. Apparently there's some other things that were going on, because apparently he was selling stuff online, like people's skulls and stuff. Like, it's crazy. Jonathan Gerlach was arrested in Ephrata, Lancaster County after police discovered the remains of 100 people in his home, with allegations pointing to the thefts from Mount Moriah Cemetery in Delaware County and potential connections to a cemetery theft in Leslie County. Tom Bowman, a nearby resident who has lived on West Manchester Road near Wilkes Bar since the 1980s, lives near the now abandoned Good Shepherd Memorial Cemetery in Leslie County. Bowman said, "Well, listen, I got sick of looking at it. It was a mess. And I figured, well, at least I could do is cut the grass." He has maintained the cemetery grounds, especially around holidays, for several years. So Tom Bowman has been taking care of this land, mowing it, cutting it, and all that stuff for a long time, right? For a long time, especially around the holidays. He said, "Hey, I'll be down in a couple of days to clean it up for Veterans Day." So when I went down there, I looked inside and the coffins were open, Bowman said. The one coffin they tried to pull out, and he must have pulled the end of it. I'm assuming that was the one they emptied. So in this time, Bowman is searching through this, and he discovers that, someone's been stealing stuff, and this guy's been, working here forever, and he seemed to be suspicious or something like that, right? He seemed to see something weird or something, right? Something happened for sure. And Bowman reported this to the police on November 6th. Next thing I know, there was, a whole bunch of cops there, right? So DNA testing. Police are testing cigarette butts and 2 empty energy drinks cans near the crypts to determine if they match Gerlach, who is also a suspect in grave robberies in Delaware County. Although Gerlach has not been charged in Leslie County yet, police are investigating his potential connection to breaking into 2 crypts at the cemetery, which is also crazy because he has bodies inside of his home. How is that not proof that he's probably, potentially, most likely doing this? You know what I mean? But then again, I know they need to find evidence, they need handprints, they need all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I get it. So Chris Yanis, funeral director in Plains Township, said his family has been working to relocate those buried at the abandoned cemetery since 2012. Police believe the mausoleum graves were broken into on November 1st. "We started seeing screws taken out of plates that are basically what protects the grave or the crypt itself. Then we started seeing more plates taken down, and then we started seeing basically crypts that were actually being broken into," Yanis said. He says somebody also hammered out a line of bricks to see if somebody was in one of the crypts. He says somebody also hammered out a line. Oh, sorry, I said that right. Out of the 79 people originally laid to rest at Good Shepherd, 32 remained, and now only 30 after the theft. "It's sad that people just can't leave the dead alone," Yanis said. Jonathan Gerlach is being held in Delaware County on a $1 million bond. So that's kind of crazy. So Jonathan Gerlach was pretty much stealing bodies, had remains at his home, and it's crazy that he's not even charged. I'm pretty sure something's changed now, or who knows. But he is under a $1 million bond. I don't understand the motive to this. I mean, he could be a Satanist, because there are people saying that he was selling stuff online, like, photos and, not just not photos, but like skulls and stuff like that, like little kids and stuff like crazy. So this guy could have been on like the dark web or something. Who knows? Who knows what this guy was doing? This guy was doing some crazy stuff. Very questionable. And what I see here is a mental illness. This is a mental illness, and this is something that got underlooked, and no one's really tried to help him or anything, or who knows? Who freaking knows? I don't know. But it seems like this dude has just been on his own or something, and he's doing some satanic stuff. He's gotten into a trend or a weird thing, and this is just not okay. The reason why I'm sharing this story is because this is not normal. This is not something everyone does. This is like a Charles Manson thing. This is like a cult thing. Like, I really wonder if there's more people to this. If there's a couple, or if there's one, there's probably a couple. You know what I mean? There's probably a couple, and it's very interesting that he has all those like, what was he doing? I mean, obviously Satanist, but what other purpose would it be? Like, what is he gonna be like? Oh yeah, I wanted to live with a bunch of corpses. You know what I mean? I wanted to put them on the couch. You know what I mean? Like, it's just something off. Someone's off about this. And I'm kind of glad that this dude, this Bowman guy, saw this. Right? He saw, like, yo, there's something weird here. Called the cops. Bam. Next thing you know, cops come in. Now they got DNA tests, and now they got to figure out cigarette butts and energy drinks, and they also got to figure out too, does he smoke cigarettes? So if he smokes cigarettes, that kind of like eats the cake there, right? But obviously they got to do their thing. They got to make sure it's him. You don't want to prosecute and jail someone that is innocent, but at the same time, look at his house, right? Look at his house. So he's obviously not innocent. We know that he's pretty guilty, right? But 100 people, that's a lot of bones. That's a lot of bodies. That's a lot of just corpses. That's a lot of, like, what gets you to do that? You know what I mean? Like, what, like, I'm trying to think to myself, like, what in life, like, what's something that can make me do that? Like, like, let's say I did that, right? Let's say I went to, like, cemeteries and stuff like that. What would get me to get to that spot, that mindset? You mean that type of like mentality to be like, I'm gonna go to the cemetery and just unbury them all and sell them online, whatever, do Satanist thing. Like, you gotta be living in like a cult or something like that. Like how do you realistically, how do you get to that point? Are you on the internet? Like, are you with family and they're like doing some crazy things and you're just like learning from them? Like, how do you get here? Who do you learn from? Was it his friends? Maybe his friends learned about it and he was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to start hoarding. I'm going to start hoarding a bunch of skulls. You know what I mean? And this is just very odd behavior. Really. It's just what gets people to do this. You know what I mean? And, it just blows my mind. And I'm not going to make an update video on this because everyone could really, like, you literally know what's going on. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of update videos and stuff like that. But I wanted to share this because I do paranormal videos. I do paranormal news. Eventually going to do some paranormal videos and stuff like that. But why can't people just leave these graves alone? You know what I mean? All these bodies. Like, why? How does this freaking happen? Like, how? I just can't connect the dots. I can't put two and two together why someone would do this, why someone would steal someone's bones. You know what I mean? And this is just clearly crossing the line of just being a human, and and I just felt that this story should be known because it's trending everywhere. Like, everyone is talking about it. There's news, and also too, I saw Exploring with Josh, a YouTuber that I watch, talk about it, and that's how I knew about it. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna look into this. You know what I mean? I think this is very, very interesting. But this is 100% a mental issue, a mental thing here. But I felt like sharing that. At the same time, my name is A1 Solution, TTV Reacts Bro. We share paranormal news, world news, reactions. We do challenges, skits, vlogs, gaming, puppeteering, etc., etc. I'm a variety channel. Make sure you check out my channel. I post videos, I post contents, I post videos, I post content. I post a lot of videos. I am me. I'm here. I'm chilling. It's Sunday. Hopefully you have a good Sunday. Make sure you drink water. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you grab a snack. Make sure you pray and have a great day, and make sure you love yourself. Make sure you have a great night. Make sure you sleep well tonight. Make sure you kick butt and save the day. We take